Good evening, beautiful people. Welcome to yet another beautiful study live. Just study live. Just a few things before we get into. I think what you call this thing. I wasn't live yet. I think Tuesday as well. Yeah, I wasn't live for the past few days. Apologies about that, Shamaskis. Yeah, because I did say I'm gonna go live every day, but then schedule was not scheduling. Yeah, well, so things were clashing. But yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we're just gonna give a few minutes, maybe just start at around half past 9. Yeah, well, and then the target for today is approximately 3 hours. But then another thing with 3 hours ends at like 3 hours ends at 12:30, which is quite late. But I think depending on if people are here, I don't know, I have some energy today, so we can definitely go over 12. Usually I'm just like, I know we're not going over 12. The cutoff time is 12 a.m. But yeah, I think we can definitely go over that. Who's nice? Who's that? Yeah, we're definitely in. We're doing it for the next 3 hours. And then, yeah, man, just. I think it's right here at this corner here. Yeah, from 9:30 until whenever. So it's gonna be in same sequence, right? In minute blocks, right, of studying. So during the studying, you can either leave the live and then come back after 25 minutes, or if you're not using your phone to study, you just keep it here, and then whenever you hear my voice, that just means it's time for the break. It's just something to keep you, what this word, accountable and all that. Sometimes when you're seeing someone else do it and they're like, okay, now it's time for the break, now it's time to go back to studying, and you're just here watching, you can't be watching me study unless you're just creepy. I don't know. Yeah, you can't be doing that. When I study, you should also be studying humanically, logically, if you are a normal person. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that for the next, for the next 3 hours, or maybe even beyond that. I'm also looking at the fact that it's not yet Friday. So Friday, that's when we usually pull the all-nighters, and it's over over like 1 p.m 1 a.m and all that. But then kausane the usana leskela and all that. So we'll see how that goes. Just to confirm if this thing is proper, like my sound is okay, if the video is fine, because I can't confirm it from my side because I'm using my phone so I can't really check, and also I'm streaming from my laptop. So just send a thumbs up, or just that like, there's like a heart thingy. So if like you can hear me and stuff, just send a heart, like one of those hearts there on the top bottom right. You don't have to type anything. Yeah, just so I can make sure that you guys can actually hear me and see me, and yeah. Guys, kirle hearts. I just need one, even if it's one heart. It's not personal. Just send one heart to confirm that you can hear me. That's all I need, and then we can move on. Because now if I don't see the heart, I'm assuming that there's something wrong with. Okay. Okay. And goes, thank you very much. So just before we get into it, we're gonna 5, right? I just wanted to talk a little bit about what do you call this thing? The whole thing behind motivation. I think I was talking about this the other day, but then it was just in passing, right? So there is something that we all go through, but then it's something along where you have to realize that it's normal. And me just making this segment of the video is me just saying, oh yeah, the video was titled "You're Not Alone in the Struggle." So if you want more detail on this, just go to that live video. But then I'm just essentially summarizing that. So I'm just talking on hey Mustafa, glad to have you back, man. The whole thing behind motivation, you know, those moments when you just don't feel like studying, when it's just not nice, you know, like you look at your books and you're like, like you just don't like studying. Sorry, you just don't enjoy studying. And I think I said this the other day in one of the lives. I'm like, I don't enjoy doing this thing. I'm doing it because I have to. I just want to graduate and finish. But it's just me talking about the whole thing behind lack of motivation. Those moments when you just don't feel like studying, and at the end you just feel like school is not for me, maths is not for me, physics is not for me, studying is not for me. I should go and I don't know. I almost said something very foul. But yeah, studying is not for me, and that is not true, right? It's me just saying, you know, you should try as much as possible to eliminate that mindset and acknowledge the fact that everyone goes through that, right? And essentially, it's also me saying there is no way to avoid this. You know, those small moments whereby you don't feel like studying, it's a normal thing, it's a human thing. But then in that video I was like, I was actually cooking there. I said you can't avoid or you can't fix your lack of motivation. You know, when you're not feeling like studying, you can't fix that. It's a normal thing. But then what you can fix is for you to not get to that point whereby you don't feel like studying, right? So I was talking a lot about habits. That's why I was cooking a lot. You should definitely go and watch that live video. Maybe tomorrow is a Friday. It's 2 hours long. Go and binge watch that video. Binge watch. Yeah, go and binge watch. I don't know how they say it, but go and do that. It's 2 hours long. But I was just basically talking about how you definitely can't avoid those moments when you don't feel like studying, but then you can have so many effective habits, or you can you know, routinize your daily routine in such a way that you don't get to a point whereby you don't feel like studying. Every single day when you have to study, it automatically clicks, right? So it's a mindset thing, but then at the same time it's something along where it takes time to build, right? It just stems to discipline. It stems to your phone addiction. It stems to your oversleeping, all those different habits that we all indulge in, right? So there's so many that goes into it. That's why you're going to watch that video. But just to close it off before we start, I still have 2 minutes. Just to close it off before we start, it's me just saying, whenever you don't feel like studying, first acknowledge that it's a normal thing. Preferably or recommendably or advisably, I'm advising I'm advising that you write it down, right? So those moments whereby you don't feel like studying, or you feel like studying is not for you, take a book, right? Even if you don't believe in journaling, or you feel like it's not something that works, take your book, write down today's date, write down exactly how you're feeling, close it there. Even if after writing, yes, you might, most likely you're still gonna continue feeling like that, but documenting that thing and essentially exactly how you're feeling is something that will shock you in the next few days or in the next few weeks, right? You will realize that those moments, because remember we also have those moments whereby you feel like studying, like you're actually studying. Once in a while you're like deep within in your work, right? So during those moments you're gonna go back to your book and actually read that thing, and it will so much broaden your spectrum, or your, not spectrum, my English words today. It will essentially just improve your thinking, and think more about those moments whereby you don't feel like studying, because it's definitely an intrapersonal thing. It's something that is unique to you, right? And the factors that made you get to that point are different for all of us, right? So for me, maybe I lack motivation mainly because I don't understand the content. Some people lack motivation because they know that they're always gonna fail the test, right? For example, some people lack motivation because they know that even if they study very hard, at the end of the day their marks still becomes low. So there are so many, these multiple reasons why people just have the lack of motivation to study. Some people just don't enjoy studying in general. So there's a lot that goes into it, right? But then it's me just saying to you it's me just saying to you, it's normal, right? It's definitely okay not to be okay, and it's a very much normal thing. So if I don't start studying, we're gonna be here chatting the entire night, right? So let's just prepare your study material, and then we're just gonna go right into it in like a few seconds. So like I said, what does this mean? What are you studying? WYS, does it mean why you, because I know there's WYA, where you at. Does this mean what are you studying, guys? Technology, I don't know. But yeah, if that means what am I studying, in terms of right now, I'm gonna be doing another computer science assignment. I always have assignments, and then after that I'm gonna be doing graphic design, right? So I'm gonna be creating some posters and all that. But yeah, it's me just actually stemming to the point that have a checklist, have a list of the things that you want rather to accomplish tonight, right? Write them down. Don't just say I want to sit down and practice maths because I'm writing tomorrow, and practice because I'm writing on Monday. Write down the things that you would love to accomplish tonight, things that you would love to end the night on a very good understanding note. You're like, yo, I finally understand how to do this. These are things that you should document before you start your study session, and as you move down the session, you take those things. If it's one long topic that you are not familiar with, it's still the same thing. You don't just write, I want to be good at this topic in physics. Break it down. It has sections, it has different types of questions. Write down those multiple questions, and then yeah, you get my point, man. So we're just gonna get right into it right now, until, oh damn, I didn't charge my phone, until 10, right? So from right now for the next 25 minutes until 2200, which is 10 o'clock for people who close. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so yeah, like I was saying, we're gonna be going for 25 minutes and then coming back after each 25-minute session, and the first one starts now, right? So we're gonna start now, come back at 10 p.m. Happy As you will notice, the 25 minutes, it's 25 minutes, but yeah, they're very very short sessions, and yeah, for the most part, like it's just something for you to not, what's the word, to not burn out. That's the word I was looking for. To not burn out quickly, right? So holding these 25-minute sessions, you are able to actually, get that mini break, right? And when you're having that, easier for you to recover yourself and actually continue from where you left off, compared to when you do like a was straight without a break. Yes, you might feel like you're productive, but your brain cannot focus for that long. Most of the information that you're doing in that 1 hour session, you're going to forget, right? So it's very 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 important to have regular very very important for you to have regular breaks in between your sessions, right? So right now we are also just gonna have a very very quick break, and then it's gonna end now in like 2 minutes at around 22:06 or 07. We'll do that, and then energy with each and every session. You won't even feel the tiredness. You should try it even without this live video. Just try and study for 25 minutes, 5-minute break. And very very important, when that 25-minute is up, right, don't say I still have the energy, let me do 10 more minutes. If it's 25 minutes shy, then you have to stop, right? And then you will continue in the next session, because now if you go for like an extra 10 minutes, then you're disregarding the entire idea of it being 25 minutes, and over time you are gonna experience that burnout that we're talking about, because now you'll just be there going on and on and on and on. So yeah, just try and experiment with the 25-minute sessions. Even in your own study sessions, set a timer on your phone, or you can have some app, right? There's another app called Forest, there's another one called Focus. I think Focus is on iOS, I'm not sure, but there are all these apps, right, that essentially just focus on this. Or you can just set Pomodoro in your app store or Play Store, and you're gonna find it, right? So yeah, like a few, I don't know a few what, but yeah, essentially just 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, then we'll be going back to continue with the next session. The next session is also gonna be, span for another 25 minutes, right? 25 minutes, which means that it's gonna end at around what time? 25 half past, right? A few minutes after half past, that's when the break is gonna end, and so on and so forth until you reach 12 a.m. and move over if it's possible. So yeah, that's essentially the goal. I'm thinking 3 hours, right? So yeah, the most likely this live video is gonna be 3 hours long, right? Or 4, because I think 4 is like 1:30, and that's very very far. So we'll just see how long it can be. But other than that, yeah, let's get back to it, man. Another thing, the sessions are very short, and even the breaks are very short as well. So as you will see, the breaks that you experience in between will be very 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 short, right? Like this, the 5 minutes are gonna be very short. You won't even feel them. So right now 5 minutes is up, we have to go back to the second session for another 25 minutes, and then at around 31, 32, half past 22, 10, let me not say 22, at 10, then we can come back and continue, right? So yeah, let's get right back into it. Cheers. Okay. That's about our second break, right? Let me just fix this thing. Yeah, man. Our second break, and yeah, so in like 5 minutes, like at around 22:40, we're gonna go. Yeah, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I don't have anything else to say. I'm thinking of vlogging, but I've never done that before. So like for the thingy, for the channel, because I am gonna like start like shooting a lot of content because I need to. Yeah, well, but then with like doing these vlog thingies, I have to constantly like even when I'm at something or when I'm doing something. So for now, we're gonna stick to stick. I released like yesterday. There was like a 3 seconds video. It's like me showing after that it's like a very short video. So I might do like videos like that. But as for that's a lot, right? That's a lot. It's too heavy for me, but we'll see as time goes on. I think there's a right. So on what you call this thing on Sunday. On Sunday, there's gonna be a new video. Entire of next week, right? So essentially, just focusing a lot on just in general. I don't know, sharing what's on my mind for the most part. I don't really have a structured plan as to what I want to talk about. I just think of something that I feel like their academic journey. Even if I don't give, for the most part, I don't give tips directly, right? In my videos, I don't tell you what to do, but then I just enlighten you and show you, rather, in simple terms, right? I just point out habits, like look at what you do from the moment that you wake up, right? And that's you now. You have to start analyzing yourself from the morning throughout the entire day. The fact that you spend 3 hours, all those different things, you have to analyze them, right? And that's self-introspection. At the end of the day, you've analyzed that. I think I've talked about that in one of the videos, right? So that's essentially what I enjoy doing. I just enjoy showing people, but not necessarily saying here's a car, take my car and go with it, right? But then rather I'm gonna say there are so many different cars. There's this one, there's this one, there's this one. You see when you go with. So yeah, that's essentially like doing on this channel, right? It's more about me shedding light on chat box. I don't give tips directly, like number one, make sure you do that, or I just, yeah, I just feel like that's very much different, right? You and I might have the same problem, but there are underlying issues. I am failing because I don't understand understanding concept. That one is slow because they don't enjoy maths at all. That one is, they're not performing well because they do practice every single day, but they still get low marks, right? So you see, as much as we can do offense and we say we're struggling with maths, there are so many different underlying doing wara wara wara. It's gonna be it's gonna lack a lot of inclusivity because some people, well, that's all I'm saying, right? So I essentially just like to give general advice and just telling you more about yourself. Of talking now, let's go back to studying. Let me actually check if the live is still going. You're doing so well. Keep it up. You my proper tales. But yeah, thank you so much. Those are nice words. I like nice. I love words of affirmation from do it anymore because sometimes it makes me look like a creep. Like last year in the library, whichever person I sit next to, and then I see that they're tired, I'm like, "You're doing great, keep going." But then over time, I realized that imagine a stranger just taps you on the back. They're like, "You're doing great. Hey, who are you?" Or so. Yeah, I just enjoy just making people realize they are full, smile and see the hope in their eyes that I can actually succeed at this particular thing. Can do it, or simply because someone made me realize that I can do it, right? So it's a beautiful experience. But yeah, enough talking. 23. 5 minutes past 11. Yeah, our next break. Adios, happy studying. I feel like this session was longer for some reason. It was why am I glitching now? Yeah, it was a bit longer than normal, than how it's supposed to be. But yeah, that's fine. So we're gonna be on a break for the next 5 to 7 minutes. We're gonna go back at around 23:15, which is like in what's the maths? 7 minutes. It's 7, yes. For the next few minutes, and then we will just head back after that. So in the meantime, I can talk about. Someone asked me the other day, yeah. Ship view what? Asked, are you always so when Ofentse? Why are you always so used to study and all? I'm not even close to being that guy, right? And obviously this is what a typical would say to and I don't even have anything to boast about, right? So it's me. This time I'm studying this entire day. So the entire day today I didn't study. This is me studying for this 4 hours, right? To fix that. Okay, I can see the glitching. I can see the glitching now. I have no idea why it's happening. These apps, maybe it's them. Because the CPU is very very. Okay, is it better now? When I for like am I speaking more normal? Okay. I don't know. Just let me know if you can hear me speaking. Just because I'm also watching on like ready scratch, so I don't know why that. You see now these fancy things. I might as well just go live. I think things it's a bit better now. Okay, thank you. Let me see. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. Really sorry about that. I don't even know what to do. I honestly have no idea what to do. Let me it's fine if it's glitching in the in the video after this, like once the live video is done, it's gonna be fine. But then that's the thing, I also wanted you guys to hear me while I'm speaking, right? Like the things that I'm saying. So if it's glitching, then it's a huge problem. So let's see. Okay, whoever is here, can you just confirm that it's better now? I see there's Wipelo, there's Tendo, there's I can't see who else is here, but whoever is here, just send a thumbs up if you can actually hear me, or if you can see me, if you can, I don't know, anything. Anything? Oh, guys, send a thumbs up. Now I'm begging for a thumbs up. Come on now. Now I sound clear. Beautiful. Thank you. Okay, so because of that, thank you. I'm just gonna switch from whatever I was saying about myself and answer Tendo's question on intensive studying. What is intensive studying in your definition? What does that mean? I'm thinking of something, but what do you mean by intensive studying? Yeah, actually, that's a very good question. What does that mean? Just try and type it, explain it, and then while I give my perspective on what I think that is. Because when you say intensive studying, I'm thinking of hours of studying, right? You're just there studying. So there's two ideas that I have of intensive studying. I have you sitting down for hours with no break, studying, and then there's also you studying every day, like you're addicted to studying every day. When you come back from school, you study. Our social life, we are wearing. I don't know what you mean by intensive studying. Are we talking about a session, like you having one session, sitting down and studying? Either way, I don't recommend it, right? So just to give you a bit of a scientific background, right, in terms of the neurology, and from a neurology perspective, your brain can basically focus at max 2 hours, right? So on a particular task, 2 hours. Listen to that very carefully. 2 hours focusing on that task, and that's like deep focus. And then inside of that 2 hours, when you are reading something, your brain can focus for at most 15 minutes. So that means that anything beyond 15 minutes, if you are reading something and then I ask you, Kira, tell me, what were you reading about? Explain everything. You will notice that there are certain things that you're going to miss when you're explaining, right? So that is why, number one, it's very, very important to take those 25-minute sessions. That's why I recommend having a break after each 25-minute session, right? Because you're able to digest the information. Your brain is able to cool down and actually think about the things you were just learning in the past 25 minutes. You go back, you take a different set of information, you do it again, and so on and so forth, right? Compared to when you're sitting down for an entire hour, the funny part, or the interesting part, actually it's not funny, is that you will feel way more productive when you're studying for an entire hour than when you're doing these 25-minute sessions, right? And that's the sad truth. You'll be feeling more productive. That just means that you will feel like you have been studying for an entire hour. Whereas if we think about it, in that hour you only have 30 minutes worth of knowledge, if we're being honest, right? Because there was no break. Your brain needed to rest. It needed to digest the information, but then now you're putting an hour's worth of information, and then after that 1 hour, you take a 25-minute break, you go on your phone, you go on TikTok, you check on your friends. After that break, you want to go back to that studying. Do you think that the things that you learned in that past hour are still in the brain? Remember, there's that whole concept of long-term and short-term memory, right? So when you are learning in 1 hour study blocks, they never get a chance to reach your long-term memory, because you just put a lot of information at once, and then after that you take a longer break. Because obviously if you're studying for an hour, you definitely can take a 5-minute break. That's one thing for sure. You will feel like you need more, and the longer you make your break, it means now you have to start thinking of what you can do during your break. And the first option obviously is your phone. I was gonna demonstrate with my phone, but my phone is here. The first thing is your phone, right? And understanding that the moment you go onto your phone, there's this dopamine rush that happens, whereby chemicals all around your body now that were settled and they were focused on the studying. Because studying if I can tell you, it when you're studying, your body is relaxed, right? So the mind is the one that is more active in the studying process in such a way that you know, like it's not affected. That's all I'm saying, right? So you're just relaxed, and the mind is essentially just trying to understand what is going on there. However, if we go into something like being on your phone, scrolling on TikTok, for example, your body is still relaxed, but then those neurons that were essentially focused on the studying, now that dopamine rush comes in. It's like, oh, here's something more interesting than studying. Here's TikTok, right? So now there's this rush that you feel, or let me leave that thing, right? Let me go into TikTok because it's more entertaining. It's something I enjoy more than studying, right? And as much as on the outside you might feel like a 10-minute break going to TikTok is nothing, it's just a 10-minute break. There is something that actually happens that will influence how your next study session is gonna be, which is why I always advocate for it. I'm like, during your study breaks, don't go on your phone. Go outside, go and touch some grass, go and lick some sand, whatever they say. Go and do something outside, right? So don't be on your phone during your study breaks, because you are interrupting that entire flow of thinking that was trying to happen initially, right? So it causes this huge problem, and now your motivation decreases slowly. So Tendo is describing intensive studying, right? They're saying it's like chunking as much info in short bursts. I used to do it in metric repeatedly and changed after the test. Okay, wait, like chunking as much info in short bursts. It's in metric repeatedly, and I felt after the test drained. Okay. This intensive studying, when I tend to, if you notice, or if you were what's this word? If you were in the moment when you were doing it, or if you still remember even now, you will notice that you used to do this if you haven't studied enough for the test. So it's a last minute resort. If you notice it, you don't do that intensive studying when your test is in 2 weeks. That's one thing you will notice, right? So that intensive studying is one thing that people do and that you used to do when your exam is in 2 days or is tomorrow and you are panicking. So it's a normal thing, right? It's a normal thing that people do, and obviously you have your answer. It's very, very clear. The only way to avoid it is to study regularly, right? It's very simple. Yes, there's this what do you call this thing? There's this excuse, right, that people use most of the time, but if I study too soon, I'm gonna forget the information, right? You are going to forget it if you study once. If you study it once and your exam is in 2 weeks, right? So you are going to forget it. But essentially the trick with that one is you do it repeatedly, right? So if you're doing it today and it's a Thursday, do it again on Saturday, do it again on Wednesday, do the same thing on Friday that other week, right? So it's all about repetition and understanding that your brain can withstand this information. There's no such thing as you're going to forget. You are going to forget if you do it once and then you leave it there. But then that intensive studying is something that people only do and that you used to do when your exam is very close and you are panicking. And it's a normal thing. I'm not judging you, but try and avoid being in that situation, such that when your exam or your test is very, very close, you know that you do your past papers. Even if that's what you're doing in your intensive sessions, but it's more chilled. Alright, when you're doing those past papers, it's more chilled because now you do the question, you mark yourself, oh okay, I got this one wrong. Why did I get this question wrong? Let me check the memo. it says this, okay, from now on, I'm gonna store this in my memory. This is the correct answer that I'm supposed to write, right? So this is me doing last minute studying. I'm doing this through the memo. I'm not going to the textbook. Hey, mitochondria is blah blah blah. Hey, this is this. Okay, mitochondria. That's not gonna work, right? It's a very very bad method which I highly don't recommend, right? But to answer your question in simple terms, just try as much as you can to, if there's a certain topic that you're struggling with, if it's a very very, even if it's the smallest thing, like I remember in grade 10 to 11 or 12, there was this question on for what values of x is x increasing. I think it was under functions, right? Most people struggled with that question. That question was always 2 marks, right? If I can give you some context, it was always a 2 marks question. It's either 2 marks or 1 mark, and most people would get that question wrong almost all the time, right? And they knew that every single time when it came to the exam, I'm gonna get this one wrong. But remember that they wouldn't give you that question if it's not meant for you, right? If it's not a grade 12 question, they wouldn't give you that particular question, right? So it's something that is supposed to be there. They know that it's something that you are able to understand. So giving yourself the time to actually say, in this session, I'm going to sit down and know how to answer the question that says, for what values of x is f of x greater than g of x. I focus on that question. I watch quadrillion videos of different people trying to explain that question. There have been moments whereby I have tried this now, because I don't like being positive. I don't just like telling the positive side of things, the nice stories. There have been moments whereby I've tried this, right, and it didn't work. It didn't work in a sense that I sat down, I said, I'm gonna focus on trying how to understand this forward values of x question. I sit down, I watch different people explain it. I watch their whole analysis thing. Okay, hey, look at the top, what do they even call them? I forgot. You look at that, and then you draw a line, you find that this is the upper part of the x-axis, blah blah blah, right? I didn't understand any of that, and multiple people explained this exact same concept and I didn't understand it. But here's the beautiful part, right? As much as I didn't understand what exactly they were doing, and I didn't understand why they were doing that, why are we taking that and doing that, I watched so many people explaining the exact same thing that I didn't understand, such that when it came in the test, I remembered the method, right? As much as I didn't understand what they were doing, I knew that guy said to me, look at the top part. I don't know why I'm looking at the top part. I don't know what I'm looking for. I know that I look at the top part, I take that, I take the bottom, blah blah blah, essentially all that, and I got the question right? This was not because I understood it. This was not because I'm very very good at that particular thing, but because I actually took time. I took the stance to say, I'm going to try and understand this section. But the moment you say to yourself, I've been getting this question wrong this entire time, I'm never gonna get it, then it's shy, because you've never given yourself the chance to say, let me give it a chance, right? Your experimenting, your thinking shouldn't be in the exam. In the test, you shouldn't, especially with your practical subject, with your maths. You see, like high school maths, the moment you start thinking about how to answer a question in high school maths, it's shy. If I can give you an example, for functions, if a function says calculate the x, what are they called again? Calculate the x-intercepts, right? Calculate the x-intercepts of this function, right? And then if the first thing that comes to your mind is, I don't know how to do this, let me think about how I can do this, then you're in the path to a very, very bad place. Because the moment you see that question, as much as you don't know what you're going to write, you should know the background that, okay, I remember, as much as I don't know how to do this at the moment, I know that calculating x-intercept, my y should be equal to 0. That's what I know so far. That's something, right? So you put that at the side. You have something on your shelf already, right? That's what I'm saying when I'm saying when you are writing a practical something, a practical subject, your maths, your physics, it shouldn't get to a point whereby you are thinking about the answer. Even if you are thinking about the answer, you should be having some background on that particular thing, right? So how do I put this, just to close it off? As much as you don't understand that topic, listen, watch the YouTube videos, watch the different people explaining that particular topic. Just listen, write down some notes. Even if you still don't understand what they're saying, write down those notes. Watch another video from a different person, watch another video. If you can at least watch 3 different people and even more explaining the exact same concept, and you still don't understand what exactly is going on in that topic, trust me, through, there is something that you've definitely come out with, right? You've done 50% of the work. And what you're gonna realize is that you may think I'm lying because you don't understand the topic firsthand. So now you're like, Ofentse, I still don't understand this thing. I watched like 4 different people explain it. It may not be there, but then the second time you try it, or even at the most unusual times, and you actually try to do a question and you're like, oh, I don't understand how to do this, but I remember that guy saying factorize. I don't know why, but let me factorize and see what happens. And then you see that the next step, oh, okay, then he did this in that question, then he did this. From there, you take that answer that you have. This is obviously after the test that you wrote. You take that answer, you go back to that video, you refer back to the same video, and then you will see wonders. Wow, okay, this is actually now connecting. And why is this happening? Because you actually took the time and you admitted to yourself that you are struggling with a topic, and you took the time to actually go and look for you actually took the time to admit and then sit down and focus on that topic alone, right? Which is something very, very important. And this is for anything, right? This is not even high school related. This is what goes on with what I'm doing with computer science. This has been a very, very long break. I'm gonna take 5 more minutes. If anyone has something to say, just type it in the chat box. But just to close it off, it's not something that is in high school or something. Just to make an example with what I'm doing with computer science, right? This is a very practical heavy what's that? It's a very, very practical heavy sub course or subject, right? There's different jargon, like we call our subject courses, some people call them modules. Yeah, these are courses. So computer science is a very practical heavy course, right? In the sense that we do a lot of coding in it, right? And most of the time we get assignments, right? We get assignments, and in these assignments it's always a new thing. Like, you're always asked to do something different. You're always asked, maybe to give a very, very simple example, they give you the name Ofentse, right? They give you Ofentse as a name, and then the question is, arrange these letters alphabetically in code. Write code that will arrange these letters alphabetically, right? So now I have to think of a way. You see, firsthand, I already understand exactly what I'm supposed to do. I know that, okay, somehow E is supposed to be the first letter, and then F, and then blah blah blah, and then I arrange it, right? But then I just don't know how I'm gonna start it. So to give you some perspective on this, essentially what happens with computer science is that, okay, this was last year, not now. Now it's trapping. It's something completely different. What used to happen is that I got to a point whereby I figured that all these things have a method, right? The method remains the same. As much as they give us different questions, they give us all these different examples. At the end of the day, I'm gonna get very technical right now in a few seconds. As much as they give us the very different questions, you need to have variables. You need to have a method that will do exactly what the question is asking. You need to have some form to test the thing, right? So these are the three things that you need. For example, right, you know that I need some variables. Okay, I need a variable that will store the name Ofentse. Okay, this method, it's gonna do exactly that. It's gonna not reverse, man, it's gonna sort the letters alphabetically. So I know that E is the first letter, blah blah blah, you sort them there, and then lastly I know that I can test this thing. So just to explain this in simple terms, this is a very, very big assignment, right? And when they give you the assignment, you're not told, okay, dissect it like this. This is something you have to figure out on your own. And this is something that works for every single one of the assignments that we do, right? And it's like I'm saying, if you haven't taken the time to sit down and think about that one subject that you are struggling with so much, not just thinking and saying your maths is so bad, but just thinking about ways in which you can approach it, right? Watching those different YouTube videos. If I ask you, Hore, yes, you're saying you're struggling with calculus, for example. If you're struggling with differentiating in calculus, how many videos have you watched on YouTube on calculus of different people explaining, and then you say only one and I didn't understand? That's a huge problem, right? Because clearly you haven't tried. So if you're struggling with a question, I'm wrapping this up. If you're struggling with a question, go to your YouTube, watch the quadrillion videos. Even if you feel like this is not related to what I'm studying at school, that person was not crazy when they made that video. That video is relevant to you. There's a reason why calculus is on that video. So watch that entire video, write down some notes. Even if you don't understand those notes, write them down. You know English, you know what that person is saying, you know what they mean when they say factorize. Write factorize in your book. And then at the end of the session of you watching those different videos, try and overlook everything and see how all these different people what were they saying that is similar, right? What were the different things that they were saying? As much as they were different people, they started their videos differently. What did they say that sounded the same? And then you collect those points, you put them together. That is essentially how you get to understand a difficult topic that you've been struggling with for a very long time. Yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna close it there. I've been talking. So okay, that was actually impressive. I didn't know I had that much English. But yeah, let's go back to studying. That's the main reason we are here. So we're gonna go back for a few more sessions, maybe two, maybe one. Not one, because one session is gonna lead me to 12 a.m. We're gonna go back for a few more sessions, right? Right now at 35 or 36. Sorry, we're gonna come back at 12 a.m. We're gonna come back, and then just a 5-minute break, and then go back. If you're still energetic, you can stay and then continue studying for the next 1 hour or so. So yeah, let's head back for a 1 hour 25-minute session. Yeah. Okay, this thing doesn't want to. Come on. Continue talking, but I'm not gonna do that. You see, it's also okay, perfect. Let's go back. Okay. So yeah, we're back. I think we just completed, was the 2 sessions? Yeah, I think like 23:30, and then there was like a digital break. There was a 5-minute break at around 12. And then this is the second one. So we're gonna close it here. Like right now we're just gonna chat for the next 10 to 15 minutes and then close it. But yeah, if you feel like you still have some energy, you can continue. Yeah, well, but then essentially it ends here. So for now, I'll just be checking the chat box, and if you have some questions in general, you just throw them in there, and then yeah, we can talk. But yeah, it from me. Let me just go to the chat box, and then after blah 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 offense like wow. So there's no question. This actually going late. So Spidey, I'm about to give my last paper of metric tomorrow. I'm so excited. So quick. What do you mean grow up so quick? I will. When in life you need to grow up. Some of us are things. I'm doing computer science. Imagine at my such a torturing course. But yeah, chat for the next few minutes. And I think I was trying to talk on something in the previous break, and then I stopped that. So I was basically one saying, why am I always motivated? Always study. Where do I get the energy? Where and talk to people at the same time. Oof. At the same time, you're studying and motivated to start with. Oh, so let's start there. I think that. And if I say I'm going to sit down to study, I don't enjoy studying. I think I only study. I'm studying throughout this entire day. This is the only time I'm right. So either I'm in class or I don't know. I'm just doing a bunch. Two. If I'm actually visible and you can see me, if you can hear my side is glitching, maybe I'm the problem. Send a thumbs up. Okay, because I why and how. So blah 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 blah. Guys, just a thumbs up. I'm not saying, just send a thumbs up. thumbs up, thumbs up. There's like one. Most of the time is usually 10 or like 8. Okay. Okay, people. It's fine. So, he is here. I can't see the other people who are here, unfortunately. For some reason, this is here. Okay. A lot. I'm not fixing it, I'm trying. Now. Just give me a second. It might be this. Proper. Yes, I was glitching a lot, but is it? Yo. I have no idea what's going on and why it's glitching. Just let me know. One more time, just let me know. Am I still glitching? Doing this. What? Okay. Okay, it should be fixed now. It should be fixed. It definitely should be fixed. Should be fixed. Like most. So if it's still happening, just let me know. But then if there are any questions, because I think maybe the glitching is when I talk, right? So if there are any questions, just chat box and then we talk about your questions, because maybe it doesn't want me to explain. So it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Type them quickly. I think Spidey has some questions here. If you have some questions, just write. I think we probably also still the live video here and just shut it. We went over our. Yeah, we're just gonna close it here. transition. Maybe it's the way I'm sitting. Let me just by I'm gonna turn this off and then see if maybe it's a very big leap, right? What happens for the most, if you are someone who, when you get here, you're going to fail. You will fail. Like, you will fail. Well, when even my voice doesn't want to bring out the word fail, because I've failed so many times. But yeah, you're going to fail. It's a very normal thing. It's exactly that. It's a transition. Yes, a transition can be smooth, like the TikTok ones, but this one is a very rough one. Some people adjust very, very quickly to the transition, but it's a normal thing for you to experience a lot of failure in your first year, right? I remember I did chemistry in my first term of first year. I did chemistry, and in that chemistry, it's basically grade 10 to grade 12 chemistry, a summary of everything. And I remember I failed my first test. That's basic things. And I don't even know why I failed to start, right? Because another problem is that they don't give us our scripts. You never really know what you got wrong. So I feel that first can be okay. No, I didn't fail the first one. I got 53. But yeah, the point is I went from my 80s and failed a few of my first tests. It was bad, and then obviously as time moves on, you learn that time that is managed better so that it moves on properly. Yeah, so as time moves on, you're just able to, adjust, know what works for you, know that okay, maybe I need to study with people. In towards the end, I basically formed a study group. I went to, because it was like, what, we were like 500 in the class. Wow. So obviously everyone is doing their own thing. So if you're struggling like me, please inbox me. Let's start a study group. And then I think more than 10 people inboxed me, and then we came together. We went to one of the classrooms there by campus. We just there, we were studying, explaining to each other things, and it went very well. It was it's just me saying, for the most part. Let me check the comments in the meantime, in case I might be glitching. Actually no. Okay, perfect. Okay, so there's nothing. I think I'm going to be glitching until the end of this live in like 10 to 15 minutes. Anyways, I'm saying, for the most part, it's a very different. You get comfortable with the failure. That's also another thing, because right now you see how I'm telling you that you're going to fail, or you're most likely going to fail rather. When the moment you get to the uni and you start failing, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, Ofentse said I'm going to fail, so it's a normal thing. But then now you get too comfortable with that failure. You're like, okay, I'm failing, it's fine, I'm failing, it's fine. And now the entire year ends and you're still failing. You're like, it's fine, I'm adjusting. It shouldn't take very, very long. You shouldn't keep on failing. That's all I'm saying, right? So it does get to a point where you need to find a strategy and just find yourself. Some people work best with people. Like with me, with some of my courses, I work best with people. Like with my computer science is mainly assignments. Those ones you have to do them alone. Maybe discussing, there's a lot of discussing on the group, so I don't really need a group for that one. I did maths last year. maths needed a lot of group thingies because that maths was online, right? So it was online videos, and then at the end there was a test. So that's the one I formed a study group for, because at times I just got lazy to watch the videos and all that. So it was just a whole complicated thing. I created the study group, people came, and then we studied together, we explained certain things to each other, and then it's exactly that, right? So for the most part, this is me just saying, if you're struggling with a topic, there are so many alternatives. I think in the previous break I was just talking about how you should try, like keep on trying, watch multiple videos. The second one is to form a study group, right? No one is going to come to you and say, hi, come and join my study group. You have to be that bigger person and actually create it. Just go onto that main WhatsApp group of your class and say, hi guys, who is interested in creating a study group with me? Even if it's a cringe text and it's not something that you enjoy sending, you send it. And then I remember when I sent the text of me asking people in the maths group, right, to say who needs a study group, right? So it's like, I'm gonna get to what you're saying now, study with friends laughing. So I went to that group, right, and it was like, it's more than 500 people in there, and then you are just that one guy. Geniuses are explaining in the group, and then you come in, hi guys, who is struggling with this course and needs study group or study partners, please inbox me. I sent that text, I put my phone far away because it was so cringe, right? I couldn't bear it. I couldn't bear the feeling, and then I put my phone away. After an hour I came back, got a few texts. I'm like, oh, okay. And then it was so on and so forth. The rest is history, right? So but you are talking about how study groups never work because all your friends laugh your ass off and didn't study more than one page. Now that's the thing. That's why I said you have to be the bigger person. So you know that your friends are laughing, that's why you can't study with them. You are aware of the fact that your friends are laughing when you should be studying, so you should be that bigger person, right? Whereby you're like, guys, let's stop laughing for the next hour and actually study. And if you don't want to study, please leave, because some of us are trying to study. You should be that person who actually what you call this thing, who actually conducts the thing. That's what I'm saying here. It's never a how do I put this, it's never gonna be a smooth journey, right? There's always gonna be certain things, especially when you're studying with friends. Those are people that you chill with on a daily basis, and now you're studying. Ew. Or when we're supposed to be making fun of someone or something. So it's like it becomes a very big problem now, because now those people are used to joking. So now you have to be that one person who's like, guys, let's stop playing, let's actually study. If you don't feel like studying, ask someone, and then you ask each other questions, you quiz each other, you basically practice past papers, you make each other answer certain questions, right? And you host such sessions like that. You do those, you repeat those things. But then overall with that thing, don't say study groups don't work for you. They only didn't work because there was no bigger person. There was no bigger person in that group to always say, hi guys, let's actually focus. You see, even if someone was there, they said it as a joke, and then you move on, you continue laughing, right? So just try to be that person who actually ensures that the study group is actually a study group, right? Because no one else there cares. You have the understanding, the deeper understanding that this could actually be something beneficial if you are all serious. If all your friends are serious about their thing and there are no jokes, and they're actually studying, and you guys are actually explaining the concepts to each other, it's going to be very much productive. But then now when it gets to a point whereby it's all about jokes, someone has to be there to say, guys, let's stop the jokes, let's be serious for the next 2 hours, you see. So yeah, that's the catch. But definitely try the study groups one more time. If maybe you feel like your friend groups just don't enjoy studying, they don't like studying, that's a different scenario. You have to find different people, right? Because you don't want a burden. You don't want to have a study group whereby you are doing all the explaining, right? It should be a collaborative thing. I explain this to you, you study something and you explain to me. Not hore, I'm the teacher now, I'm tutoring. Yes, that helps, but then it's also beneficial for me to also receive some information. Teach me something I might not know, right? So it should be a wait, I know the word. Reciprocal. It should reciprocate. It should be a reciprocal relationship, study relationship. Reciprocal, that's the word. So it should be that. So make sure that you give out information and you also receive new information. If you have a study session whereby you are the one who's always explaining, that's not a study session. You are tutoring. You are explaining to people. They are gonna leave their food with knowledge. You are just gonna stay exactly the same as how you came there. You are fulfilled because you helped someone explain, but I mean, you helped someone understand something, but it ends there. So that's a very, very big problem. Yeah, so that's pretty much about it with the study groups. I think there's like what 4. How many people are here? There's like 4 to 5 people. Just that YouTube doesn't want to show me the number of people that are here, but I can see from the comments that there's like 45 people. So if you have any questions, just type them in. We're just strangers. No one knows each other here. I don't know who Spidey is. I know the name, right? So just type whatever is on your mind. Don't just sit here listening to me, because I'm just gonna say a bunch of things, me. So say what's on your mind, type it there, because no one cares. I mean, we care, but we don't know you, right? No one. Don't feel ashamed to say something that you think, let me not, right? This is your platform for you to express whatever is on your mind. I think Spidey already knows, because the moment they got here, they were literally like, what did Spidey say? They're like, I'm so sad because I don't want to grow up so quickly. Imagine you just arrived and you're already venting so much, right? So I'm just saying, it's a safe space, man. Just say whatever questions you have, what you're struggling with, what do you think is that one thing that even right now in school you just still like, let's talk about constant struggles, right? Things that you are still struggling with in terms of your academics, something that you've been trying to fix, but then it's something that is still a struggle for you. I think that's how we can wrap it up. If I can just get three responses, then we can talk. But if there's none, or if there's one, I'm not gonna respond to it. I'm gonna write that person a personal email responding to their query, and then it ends there, and then we end the live, because I'm tired of talking now. I need that word that Spidey just typed. Reciprocalization, whatever it is, I need that. So yeah, definitely. Okay, so I'm just gonna wait for the next few seconds, and like I said, if there are none, then we're closing it, and yeah. Okay, let's see. But yeah, in the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in, stranger danger, whoever you are. And I just hope that, your academic journey, the rest of your academic journey makes sense, right? And it's just me saying it is possible. And I'm not trying to motivate you. Listen, I'm not trying to motivate you, right? It's just me saying to you that those struggles that maybe you don't want to type here, like if it's something that you're struggling with, it's just me saying it's something that can be fixed. It's something that you can work on in some way. That's why I was saying maybe type it here and then we talk about it. But if you don't feel expressive, That's okay. I mean, it's not okay. I'm sad, but that's still fine. It's not fine. I'm lying. Okay. I would reply, but no one's doing it except me. I also wanna sleep. Soon. So done with HTML. I think it's having a sufficient mindset to prepare ahead of exams. Yeah. So, what was I just saying now? Oh, I was talking about how it's possible, man. Like, as much as we can talk about how we have all these different struggles, right? There is a way. That's why I said I don't want to make it sound motivational, like you can do it. Hey. I'm actually saying it from a practical point of view, in such a way that if you're struggling maybe with motivation, yes, you can't solve lack of motivation to study directly, but then you can prevent it from happening in the first place. Yes, you can't solve the fact that you keep failing your maths tests, but then what you can do is work on yourself in such a way that you are confident from the moment you get into that exam. You can work on yourself in such a way that you understand your weak points. You work on yourself in such a way that you understand that there are certain things that I am good at, and there are these ones that I lack in, right? So what steps am I going to take to be able to fix 1, 2, 3, right? So that's essentially what I'm trying to say with this. It's definitely possible. Making notes, I never do it when needed. Okay, I don't know what that is linked to, but yeah, that's fine. What else that I want to say? But yeah, man, that's pretty much about it. I think I'm gonna close it there, because yeah, there are no questions and stuff, and that's also pretty much about it from me. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for believing in yourself. If maybe there's doubt here and there in your abilities, your capabilities, in your achievements, in where you are at the moment, or how far you have come, there's always those moments where you just feel like, I should have, or like, there's always gonna be moments of doubts. There's always gonna be those days where you just feel like this thing is too difficult. I don't like this, I like that, but especially if you are still in school, for example, right? If you are still in school, you have to do that school, right? I remember, I think one of the proudest things, right, one of my proudest things I've done, like, just to wrap it up, is convince someone who wanted to drop out of school, right? Because they felt that it wasn't for them, right? Yes, in terms of academics, we might not all it might not be your passion, right? There's a very thin line between passion and interest, right? So in terms of there are people who are passionate about books. Like I said, there are people who enjoy studying. There are people who are passionate about this academic life. And then there's your interests as well. There are things that you want to venture into. But then it's having that thin line and understanding that with every single thing that I try and do, it's always possible for me to actually solve the problem, right? There is a way. Actually, the most beautiful thing that just happened in my mind, I just remembered this thingy, this saying, where there's a will, there's a way. I've always known it, but then it's just clicking now that it's actually possible, right? So it's like, if you are dropping out of school, for example, this is what I said. If you are dropping out of school because you are failing a lot and you feel like it's not for you, the moment you start failing in whatever interest that you want to venture into, let's say you want to go into music, the moment you start failing in that music thing, you're gonna want to drop it as well, because you don't have that inner wait, not drive, but grit, grit is the closest word to it. You don't have that grit to say whenever you fail, you are able to pick yourself up and say that, okay, tidy up, let's stand up, let's try again, right? So let's clean ourselves up, let's maybe go and watch Ofentse's YouTube videos, let's come back and write Ofentse an email, say 1 2 3 blah blah blah, right? And essentially just expressing yourself in whatever way. So it's something that you have to realize that the moment you want to give up at one thing and pursue another, the fact that you got to the point of giving up on that one thing, it means that it's very easy to also give up on the other. To make a very unrelated example, right, it's like cheating. So if your boyfriend cheats on you, if your boyfriend cheats on their girlfriend with you, so let's say you are the side person, right? Like your boyfriend, no, someone's boyfriend cheats on their person with you, right? And they say they love you and you feel loved. You have to understand that it's very, very easy for them to love someone else other than you. So as much as you can feel special, they were able to leave that person at home and come and tell you that they love you. And they can do the exact same thing with you. You can be the main person. They can easily also go outside and tell another person that they love them, right? So it's a very I don't even know what I was talking about. I escalated very quickly. Just to wrap it up, boundless bravery. Did I do CAT in high school? Definitely no. I didn't do any CAT. I didn't do any IT. Nothing. Just the short answer. And what advice do I have for you as a grade 11 learner when your June exams are approaching? How can you manage the workload? I'm gonna cut that question very, very short, because number one, it's a very, very big question, right? There's a lot that goes into what you just said. If you look at it, for example, there are so many different questions in that paragraph, right? So your June exams are approaching. That's something completely different. There's a lot that goes into that. What about your June exams, right? So I want you to go and sit down and actually understand what actually stresses you out. That's why there's this concept of incompetence, right? So it's an illusion that you fall into the moment I start giving you out advice on this very, very broad topic. When you're saying, what advice do I have for you as a grade 11 learner? Your June exams are approaching. What advice do you want? What are you struggling with? That's why the question I was asking was, what do you struggle with? So first sit down and actually understand what's wrong. What are you failing a subject? Are you slow at understanding certain concepts? Are you maybe feeling the pressure from the pace at which the teacher is going and you don't know how to handle that? Are you going through a phase whereby you're studying so much every single day, but then you're still not getting the marks that you desire? You see, so these are just a few examples. There is so many that goes into it. So I'm gonna be live tomorrow, but maybe possibly a bit later, like around this time, because it's a Friday. I'm gonna be live, and when boundless bravery, I want you to come back here with a more refined question, because this is not a question. And if I'm to answer this, I'm gonna take more than an hour dissecting this, because now I have to come back to you. I have to cover so many different aspects to choose whatever it feels like to you from all those different things. That's why I said I don't want to give direct advice. So talk about a struggle. This is not a struggle. How do you manage workload? What do you mean manage? So if you're asking me that question and then I say create a timetable, did I solve your problem? Because that's an answer, right? That's an answer. If you say how do I manage the workload and then I say just create a timetable, do you think that's gonna solve your problem? It's definitely not, right? Because now we have to go deeper. What does your timetable look like? What does your daily routine look like? Do you have any chores? Do you have something that you struggle with? Do you struggle with spending time on your phone? Do you not maybe have enough time to study? What time do you usually study? Do you have motivation to study? Do you see how many questions I'm listing right now? So all of these different questions, just try and think about them. And this goes for everyone who is within this live. There is so many different questions, and avoid falling into the illusion of competence whereby you, whenever someone gives you advice on something, like they give you this bunch of information, it's natural for you to feel like, ooh, now I'm gonna start working on myself. Something is definitely going to change, right? It's a natural feeling. But then I want you to understand that that feeling fades away very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. So you see how you phrase this question. If I was to answer this question right now, I was gonna say a lot. And 90% of those things that I was gonna say, by tomorrow morning, you would have forgotten them, right? So that's the problem. So I want you to refine the question to be as personal as possible, right? Talk about yourself, what you struggle with, and then from there, this goes for everyone else. And for the most part, you'll find that you can even find the answer without even asking me. The answer just comes to you and you're like, oh, this is what I was struggling with, right? So just try and work on that. This goes for everyone else. Like I said, if it's something specific, like especially when it comes to your academic, I think when it comes to your academic life, there are so many different aspects, right, in terms of struggles that you may experience. There's so many different aspects. Some may struggle with things like lack of motivation to study. That's a very big topic. Some struggle with how to study. You see how that is only 3 words, but it's a very, very big question. How do you actually study? When someone tells me to study hard, I do sit down for hours and I study, but then I still fail, right? And that's a problem. So now, how do you actually study as a normal person? No one knows the answer to that question, right? So it's something that you have to dissect. How do you study currently? What are some of the things that you're using now that you feel like they are not even helping you during the studying process? Do you think that highlighting your textbook actually helps? In the exam, when you're writing an answer, do you remember some of the things that you highlighted? Maybe there was a sentence that you highlighted, go page 56. Do you remember that sentence? And does it help you answer question 5.3? You see? So it's these little things, our offense, not little. So it's these little things that essentially just shape your entire academic journey, and we are all unique, and you have to understand that your journey is unique. There is no one who's gonna have now we're talking about struggles, right? There's no one who's gonna have the same struggles as you. What you're going through emotionally, mentally, everything, Kali, no one experiences it the way you do. So you are the one who can express it best. Write it down, break it down as much as possible. With every sentence that you write, ask the why. Why? I am failing maths. Why? I didn't study enough. Why? Because I started 2 days before. Why? I was spending too much time on TikTok. Why? Because I enjoy TikTok more than studying. Why? I don't know. It goes deeper and deeper and deeper, right? But then you will see that by bit, you start dissecting yourself. You start dissecting the things that you struggle with. Number one, if you do, for example, the example that I just made, number one, you're gonna delete the thing that's distracting you. If you're sleeping a lot, you're going to reduce the amount of hours that you sleep. If maybe you have friends that I don't know, influence your academic life or something, you're gonna realize that once you write down all these things, you gather up the courage to actually talk about these more and express yourself better. So definitely write your thoughts down, Write whatever is on your mind down. Don't always rely on motivational videos. You see what I'm doing right now? I'm not motivating you, I'm telling you the truth. If you're struggling with something, you are struggling with it, and the first step to solving that struggle is actually admitting it. Admit it fully. Don't say I'm struggling with maths. You're not admitting anything there. Dissect it. What in maths? Which topic? Why? Look at the questions. There's a question, there's a memo. You have the question, you have the answer right next to you. Why are you not understanding why this is the answer to that question? Now you're going into that answer. Why is this answer? Why are they factorizing by 3? Why are they minusing 1? You see, so you're dissecting every single thing as much as you can. So what I'm gonna do now is end the live video because I've been talking for way too long. I would love to talk the entire night. I would love to, trust me, but yeah, there's no time for that. I have an 8 a.m. today. Like, I have to wake up in 6 hours and actually prepare. So yeah, as I see that there are no questions, so I'm just gonna wrap it up and actually close it here. So yeah, thank you so much to everyone who was able to join this live video. I think there's a lot that we covered actually, and I hope you took some notes, or even if you took them mentally or digitally, whichever way you took the notes. This video is always available on my channel. Under live videos, you're gonna find this video. On whatever day, you can come back to this channel, you search Ofentse, you come to the channel, live videos on this day, Thursday night live. You click on this video, you can rewatch the entire thing during our breaks when we were talking. Just watch the thing, right? So, and that's pretty much about it. Goodbye everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, and like always, enjoy the rest of your night, your academic journey, your life, your future. And yeah, that's pretty much about it from me. Thank you and good night. God bless you.